nations that were hosts to the black sites that were used by the CIA are having significant internal difficulty with what happened. We suspect that one of the reasons the Senate committee report may not see the light of day is because of agreements that were made between the United States and other nations that hosted those sites to keep their national involvement a secret. It's not a secret at this point, it's an open secret. Just a quick comment about other matters of litigation that have some interesting bearing on this. David mentioned the rendition program that was involved, and somehow, even though we said we were at war with Al-Qaeda and with the Taliban, we managed to use CIA assets to transport Libyan revolutionaries who were opposing the Gaddafi regime. These guys were arrested or snatched other places around the world. The CIA flew them back to Libya and turned them over to Gaddafi, where they were imprisoned and tortured. Some of them now hold positions of significant responsibility in the Libyan government, and we're working with them. So what goes around comes around. But there have been some lawsuits filed against British officials for their kidnapping and their torture at the hands of the Libyan government under Gaddafi. One of the guys who was involved in this litigation has offered to settle the case. Here are his terms. I'll settle it for the equivalent of about $5 American plus an apology. That's never going to settle, not because they can't afford to pay it, but because nobody wants to apologize for it.
Our report lists black sites in Afghanistan, Iraq, Thailand, Poland, Romania, Lithuania, Morocco, Kosovo, Djibouti, and Somalia. So one of the, I think, interesting ways I look at this is we related to much weaker nations and enticed or coerced their partnership in these activities, thus morally compromising them and their governments. You might say morally corrupting them and their governments, or at least involving them in actions that our report finds unsupportable. So, there is continued fallout related to the large number of other nations that we involved in this program. Most people don't know much about the breadth and extent of that.